Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching the video today. My name is Sarah. I'm a consultant from Hint Studio. And today I would like to present one of the output from my PhD research where I explore values in heritage products, which is then used in design and sustainable initiatives. And what I'm sharing today is a session and a toolkit, like a procedure of a session and a toolkit where you can use this to explore values that is associated with heritage products. So in short, this tool is called ViHP. And today I will first start with sharing what VIP session is. So what is VIP session? So VIP session is actually an exploratory session. So it's a creative session where has been designed, has been developed for designers and craft culture practitioners as well as students. So the idea of this session is to use heritage product as a resource for creative processes. So this can be design process, developing storyline, storytelling, finding elements or sustainable elements that can be used in sharing or establishing new a new way of living or experiencing new things. So it's really about looking at heritage products as a knowledge, a source of knowledge and a source of reference that can be used to innovate and design something for the future. So next is, what is a heritage product? So I would like to first share what is heritage products, because it is not, it is often, there are a lot of different terms that we know or we use when it comes to heritage product. It can be traditional products or craft objects. So there are a lot of different terms that have been used with, of course, different meaning and connotation to it. So I would like to kind of establish what it means, or what it means when we say when we mention a heritage product in this context. So a heritage product is actually a product that has been made and remade for generations. So they consist of elements that are learned and inherited from the previous generation. So it can be both material component as well as immaterial component. So, and the idea is a product actually compile a lot of experiences over time and across generation. You can just think of one pen that is used, for example, by your father, and he bought it when he started working, and then he like from his first pay, for example, and over time he has been using this pen until he retired, and then he passes it on to you. And so this pen is no longer the same pen as what it was when you get it from the shop, when he bought it from the shop. It has already experienced, compiled experiences that your father has faced, his challenges, his happy memories. So the first sign for the first like the different things that he used the pen for. So it compile, and these experiences, they are not lost, but they are sort of connected to the person or connected to something else. So maybe now we have data that compile all this, but a lot of heritage products are actually consist of data that is, or experiences that is within us. So we need to kind of do this exploration by talking to people who know or who experience these objects. And so therefore they comprise of a lot of values, the diversity of values. And I will talk a bit more what are the different values that are connected to heritage products. And another part is like some of these values are important to be safeguarded for the future. And the next question that you may have, that people may ask is like, okay, what are the values that we need to safeguard? Like, how do I choose? So it's very it's very objective, because it really depends on what you want the future will be, or why do you think this will be important for the new generation. And of course, for now, like currently, when we are facing climate change, we are talking about the importance of being sustainable. Sustainability become one of the guidance or one of the reference as a way to choose which values that we want to safeguard. So, but this is still an option. So these are like the different values, that they are also values that, you know, like this has been done over generation. This is how we do it, and this is how you want to continue doing it to safeguard a certain culture or certain practices. And yes, here is 2 examples of a heritage product, as you can see. So this is a tulip vase, which is quite well known in the Netherlands. And the first picture is a tulip vase that was made in the 18th century. And the second picture is a similar design tulip vase, but it was made in the 21st century by the Royal Delft. And these can be part of the tangible and intangible cultural heritage. So the first vase, the one that was made in the 18th century, they are part of the tangible cultural heritage, and they also consist element of intangible cultural heritage in them. Whereas the tulip vase that was made in this century, they are part of the intangible cultural heritage, because the material aspect of the product is not inherited, but the knowledge, the skill, the techniques, the color, the pattern. So the way to make it, the way to achieve the materiality is coming from the previous generation. So the second vase is actually part of the intangible cultural heritage. So most of the time, unless we are in the museum, it's not a lot of the products that we explored until now are actually part of the intangible cultural heritage. And what make this what make heritage products important or exist? So it's quite interesting, because not all products exist, or not all products are able to exist across generations, but those that did, they do have meaningful connection. So this meaningful connection can be either by individuals, by family, by local communities, societies. They have special connection to monuments, places. So there are a lot of human construct that are connected, or that make these objects special. And we need to understand, sometimes we don't know why they are here, but usually they, like, heritage product exists because there are still people who care about them. It can be family, it can be individual, it can also be the government who pays funding, who give funding to kind of safeguard this cultural heritage. So, and the thing is, when nobody care about an object, it actually ceases to exist. So that's one of the key points to kind of think why some objects like no longer exist with us, because there's it no longer make any interaction or connection with its surrounding, with its people. And yeah, so this is one of the unique features of heritage products, that if you look closer, they actually consist of meaningful connections with different stakeholders around them. So I would like to share another example. So these 2 objects are part of the intangible cultural heritage. And And the first one is batu lesong, so which is a stone mortar, and this product is part of the Malay heritage. And the second product is a cheese slicer, so or kaasschaaf. So this cheese slicer is part of a Dutch culture heritage. So as I mentioned, both are from are part of the intangible culture heritage. And I would like to give a little bit of context of how you can understand this the concept further. So this is an example. This is Atika. She is 29 years old. She's a Malaysian living in the Netherlands, and she actually has both items in her kitchen. And one item is inherited and one item is adopted. So what you can say, the stone mortar is inherited because she learned how to use them and she saw how to use it. She eat the food that is made using this tool from her mother, from her grandmother, and her grandmother learned that from her great-grandmother. So they are connection across generations when it comes to this, to the stone mortar. Whereas with the cheese slicer, she actually adopted this while living in the Netherlands. Like she learned to buy cheese, she learns to use that. This is how she was exposed to the culture of eating cheese the Dutch way. And she has this cheese slicer in her kitchen because sometimes she enjoys having cheese for breakfast or for lunch. And these are two different products that are heritage products, but they are not necessarily a heritage of a particular person. So when you want to pick a participant for your session, it is important to have at least one participant in the session that inherit the heritage product that you selected. It can be yourself or a different person, but in a group, it is advisable to have one person who inherited this product from, like you can make a link that she is part of the community or she is part of the family. So there are some connection that you can make to say that, yes, this product is inherited by participant A. And just a little bit more, what makes this stone mortar her heritage is because she's been using this product to make a chili paste with fermented shrimp or sambal belacan. And this has been done for at least 3 generations, as far as she knows, her mom and her grandmother. And that's also how she eat at home sometimes with like, and that is also the reason why she has the stone mortar at home. So this is the example. I hope you can get the example of the difference between a heritage product and its connection to the inheritor. So who inherit that particular heritage? Because this is the important part about heritage, is always you can always look at the connection between generations. So and the generation doesn't need to be family members, but it can be community, it can be the village, it can be the society. So there are different ways that you can make that connection. So it's not like, so what I'm trying to say here is, doesn't necessarily need to be a family connection. So what are the values inherent within heritage products, as we yes, the main thing. So as I mentioned earlier, the heritage product compile a lot of values or a lot of experiences in them, and people can actually share these experiences to you. But the important thing is, how do people share it? How do you extract this information in a structured way? And this is where our ViHP model come into place. So ViHP model is a model with 5 different layers of product values. So the first layers is The first layer is aesthetic. The second layer is interaction. The third layer is performance. The fourth layer is construction. And the fifth layer is meaning. So you can use this model as a reference to explore values in a heritage product. So as an example, if you have a water bottle, so the aesthetic of the water bottle is really the physical outlook of the bottle. So you can look at the visual, the pattern, the tactile, the feeling that you have of the surface. Is it rough? Is it soft? So is like, what is the color? Does it use metal? Is it white? Is it blue? What are the combination? Is the combination has like contrasting combination, or a very like muted colors, muted combination? So they are different aesthetic aspects. So that's like the first layer that you look. So what we can touch in an aesthetic way. So not by using it, but really to experience just the aesthetic values. And the second part is interaction. So interaction is really about like, how can you hold the bottle? How do you use it? Like, how do you close it? Is it like by threading, or by like have just by pushing a button, for example? So interaction is really about the object and it's in its relationship with people. So in this sense, the user and also the environment. So how does a product interact with environment? So that means like, where do you put the product? If you have a water bottle, is the water bottle being put and display in the living room, or you put it in your backpack, or you put it in the kitchen? So these are the interaction level where you look at the product and you see how the product interact with people and also its surrounding. And the third layer is performance. So performance is really about the capability of the product, the function. So when we go again to this water bottle example, you can see how much water it can contain. Is it, if you drop it, would it like dent easily? Can you throw if you do a throw test, how far can it fall without like having any deform? Or like yeah, so this is really about the characteristic and the ability of the product to offer functions, or offer some offer functions and offering to the user. So, and it also involves like how do you discard the like the next cycle of life? So would it be like biodegrade easily, or does it need to be recycled? So this is the performance is really about the functions and capability of the product. The fourth layer is construction. So construction is connected to the mainly material and the process of making it, like production processes. So you can look at if, for example, the bottle, you can think of how is it made, what kind of material it used. Is it like mono material? Is it just one material, two material? Where does the material come from? How does the material degrade? And what are the skills or production techniques used, the production steps? So it's like really, you can explore how a product is made and understand deeper about the material, where it comes from. And the fifth layer is meaning. So meaning is, as you think, it's a deeper, more metaphysical aspect of a product. So it can be related to emotions, or it can be about well-being, it can be about spiritual. So spiritual in a way that so you can learn about like, okay, what does it mean to that person? Like, this bottle is special to me because it was a gift from my late grandmother, so I really care about it. Or it's meaningful because it's made from recycled plastic and I really love it. So they are different meaning to a product that is deeper, that is not necessarily directly to the product itself, but it's really related to the culture, for example, to the person, and yeah, so that's how this model works. That's how you can explore all the different values in this session, and by using this this model as your reference. So this is basically a summary of what I've mentioned earlier. So you can see the different layers, and they also, in each layer consists of like a short catalyst words that can be used to help you explore, to help you during the session. And in connection to the model, there's also the canvas. So I think you probably have seen this canvas before, but this canvas is this canvas is connected to the model, of course. So you can use you can actually print this canvas out through the PDF that I shared in the link, or you can also just do this, like use a big paper. That's how we usually normally do it during our session. Use an A4 or A4, no, sorry, A2 or A1 size paper. Use a marker to kind of just create the table, and then start to explore by putting sticky notes on this canvas. And yeah, of course, you can also just write it directly to the canvas, but it's quite difficult if you want to reorganize or reorganize when you sometimes think like, I think this is more in layer construction than in performance, for example. So, and in the bottom of the canvas, there's also like a main theme that you can start to discuss. So to discuss about like what I mentioned, like visual, the 2D part of the aesthetic, for example. So you can use the bottom catalyst word as a start if you don't know, or you don't really know how to explore the values during the session. And this I would like to share an example of a map canvas. So this is what I mentioned when I think this is a AO size paper, where we just use marker to build the table and then map everything using sticky notes. And this example is based on Ambiantig, or a Vietnamese tea warmer, which was done together with my colleagues from Green Office, Huang and Kaman. So in this session, we explore the values within the tea warmer, and we wanted to see what are the elements of sustainability that we can extract and integrate in our new design. And this is another example of the exploration, which has been transformed into a digital format. So one is a household basket, and the other, which is used by farmers in Vietnam, and another one is bird cages. So this was part of a session with a company called Duc Phong, based in Vinh City, Vietnam. And yeah, so another idea to share is you can also use Miro. If you're used to Miro, you can build this table manually, and then put this content into if you want to transform the content into digital. And yes, so after you finish the session, what can you do with the result? So the application of the output is like, first is as a source of reference in generating new product ideas in the design process. And so this is basically, once you explore the values, you don't use all of the values, but you start to kind of understand and pick a few that you think is inspirational, or you think is relevant to what you are designing, or to your project, to your design brief. And you can also search for element of sustainability within the local culture heritage. And that's what we did with the previous example with the tea warmer, where we found like people use material to keep the tea warmer longer. And the design is, it is designed in such a way that you can upgrade and you can repair it quite easily. And yeah, so there are different aspects that you can explore, which contain element of sustainability. And once you find this, you can transform it into new ideas. And lastly, it can also be used as a creative resource for storytelling. So, for example, if you design design a product that use heritage values as part of this element, you can kind of make connection between the old and the new and build a story as part of the marketing strategy. And this is an example of a full process where we use these values as a source of reference in generating new design. So this is actually, like I mentioned earlier, a project with Dut Phong from Vin City. So the one of the heritage product that we explore was a bird cage. From the session we got these different statements as values, and then we pick 3 elements or 3 statements. So we look at the shapes of the bird cage, the rib which is used for the bird to dance, and also the calming effect of having a bird at home, which is why most Vietnamese people, like especially in the village, has birds at home. And we try to translate, for example, the calming effect from sound to light. So the company is making, they are a bamboo-based producer, so they're making lamps. Lighting is one of the products in their portfolio. So we kind of transform this calming effect, and we try to kind of bring it as a story of what their light lamp collection is trying to achieve. And we kind of integrate the ribs for the bird, the ribs from the bird cage into the design, where we kind of simplify the shape, or simplify by using just straight lines. So these straight lines is actually also reducing production time and also material use. And of course, the interesting shape, because we learned that, like, yeah, the bird cage has so many different shapes. So the collection, like, we kind of go wild in the shape, like it doesn't really have just one shape. We kind of try to explore a lot of different form in the development process. And this is actually how the values that we explore during this VIP session help the company to develop one of their product collection. And yes, so this is all from me today. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any question or inquiries, you can email at connect@hintstudio.com. And thank you very much for listening.